warranties. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, there's been a lot of controversies about the exact number of people who benefited from that wonderful policy. I always say it's wonderful because if I had not gotten World Vision to pay my school fees, I would not have been able to finish basic, finish SS before I even go to the university. So I liked it. But now, as to the exact number of students who benefited, we don't know because there's different figures out there. You are the minister. You were the minister. How many students benefited?
I think we have issued a statement on this, but just for the benefit of your audience and yourself, you haven't seen it. The first time this issue came up was through Ministry of Finance. Their accounting for expenditure indicated the number in terms of first year how much they funded, the second year how many students they funded, the third year how many students they funded. So arithmetically, they were looking at how many funding units that they had done from a certain period to a certain period. And that arithmetic is what gave the 5.7 figure coming from the budget reading on the floor of Parliament.
Okay.
But you should also know that when you are dealing with not the funding units, but you are dealing with beneficiaries, if you are not doing a one-year program, people are benefiting a number of times in order for them to be fully classified as beneficiaries.
Okay.
So if you are counting the funding units and you are saying, okay, in our budget, 2017, we funded 360,000. 2018, we funded 700,000. That is in the budget. Then you go to the third year and say, in the third year, the number increased to, let's say, 1.1 million. So 300, 700, 1.1, this is the total number of funding units.
Okay.
However, when you do that, you are presuming that it's a one-time funding. So if you are dealing with graduate students who are going to university for 1 year, you'll be right.
Okay.
Because you fund them once and they are gone. You fund them once and you don't repeat. But if you do calculation based on a high school program that way, you are literally doing a double counting.
Okay.
Because the student who benefited first year that you funded at 360,000, he's included in your second year
700.
And then the 700 is then included in your third year 1.1. So the best thing to do, instead of adding the 360, the 700, the 1, is to take the 1.1.
Okay.
Because that is cumulative.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is what we realized that the Ministry of Finance had done. And in fact, it was even before we saw it, some other CSOs had gone to check because they thought something fishy was taking place. That if you are adding this and adding this and adding, so are you receiving funding for the double counting, or are you receiving funding for the third year number? So when those calculations were done, we realized that the funding in terms of beneficiaries should be based on the third year number, and that you should not be counting the first year and second year, even though it sits on your books. Even though it sits on your books at the finance ministry, that this was the number that you funded, the number that you funded, the number you funded. So you can use that for your calculation. Okay. But it should not define the number in terms of ultimate beneficiaries.
Okay.
So it was this arithmetic error that showed up that then found expression at the ministry. But quickly, after some time, we called and said, no, something is going on here. So if you look at the numbers, then when we did the reconciliation, that is when we were able to see that, oh, this was an arithmetic error. So even in the 2024 budget, they then listed the numbers breakdown so that everybody will see that it's not as if the education ministry was funded based on this number and the actual number was this. So if you go, the ministry numbers will tell you that there was nothing untoward It wasn't any situation where somebody was trying to get more money and then say that this were the number of students that were funded. So I think it was some accounting thing, error that happened. And unfortunately, it took us some time to discover that, when at education, we should not be using the numbers as so articulated from the finance ministry.
So from your ministry, what was the number?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. Oh, so okay, that means that you agree with what our research team put out there, 3.5 million. But from your experience, what you do know, as a minister who has implemented this, I mean, first 4 years as deputy, second 4 years as the minister, would you then agree with people who suggest that those who can, we should allow them pay?
I think I wouldn't want to preempt. This new government have not been there for too long. I don't want to go into that space. They have set up a committee. I think it's better you allow them to settle in to understand the issues and then lead their own discussions.
But it won't be bad to hear from a former Minister of Education.
I want to give them time to settle in.